Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a guide for Genji in Overwatch. Now just a warning before I start this, Genji is arguably the most difficult hero in Overwatch. So just without that out of the way, let's get into this. First of all is Genji's passive, Cyber Agility. With Cyber Agility, Genji is able to climb up walls and he is able to double jump. And he can technically triple jump because you can double jump onto a wall and then climb up the wall for a split second, then jump off. With his passive and Swift Strike, you can really be anywhere on the map in a moment's notice, if you want or need to. Some ways to use Cyber Agility is you can flank snipers, even if they see you. You have so much mobility in your kit that it doesn't even matter. Another way is to flank because Genji is a hero made for flanking. Since we're talking about Swift Strike, let's go over it. Swift Strike will do 50 damage normally and 45 damage to armor. You cannot get headshots with Swift Strike, and there's an 8-second cooldown on it. But if you get a kill or kill assist while Swift Strike is on cooldown, the cooldown for it will be reset. Good ways to use Swift Strike is moving quickly to objectives, escaping fights, and obviously using in combos to damage enemies. Next, let's talk about Genji's other abilities. Deflect. Deflect will deflect projectiles like soldiers' rockets, any guns besides beams, like Zarya's beam, Mei's beam, Winston's gun, etc. It will also reflect Torbjorn's turret and Bastion in turret form. You can also reflect alts that are projectiles like Deadeye from McCree, Hanzo's dragons, Mei's alt, Tracer's pulse bomb, etc. And they will become hostile on the other heroes, and they will not damage your team. When you use Deflect, you always want to use it to damage enemies and to protect yourself because at the same time, because Genji is really squishy. There is an 8-second cooldown on Deflect also, and it will last for 2 seconds. Also, you can get headshots with any bullet that you deflect. And to be able to hit someone with the projectiles you deflect, all you have to do is have your reticle aimed on them. Whether you have crosshairs, a dot reticle, it doesn't really matter. Just have that aimed on them. If you had it aimed out in their head, then that will get a headshot. So, good ways to use deflect is to kill bastions that are camping points and to block alts. So those are a few, but there's quite a few more, obviously. Now let's talk about Genji's main weapon, his shurikens. First off, there are two types of shots. Spread shot, which is Genji's secondary fire, and I'm gonna call fan shuriken, and his primary fire, which is burst fire, and of course I'm gonna call it burst fire. Genji can hold 24 shurikens at a time, and it takes 1.5 seconds to reload. And you can get a headshot with the shurikens. They will deal 28 damage per star, or 84 if all 3 stars hit. And against armor, you will deal 23 damage per star, and 72 damage if you land all 3 shurikens. If you get a headshot, you will deal 56 damage per star, and 168 damage if you land all 3. And shurikens that are, headshots against armor, and that are headshots, headshots against armor will deal 51 damage per star, and 156 damage if you land all 3 shots. The burst fire shoots in 0.97 seconds, and the fan shuriken shoots in 0.73 seconds, which means you should only use your fan shuriken if you are hitting 2 or more shurikens, because if you're only hitting 1, that means that using burst fire will give you a higher DPS. And Genji's final ability, his Dragon Blade. Dragon Blade is one of the best alts, if not the best alt in the game for team sweeping, because it needs very minimal setup. Dragon Blade will last for 8 seconds, and you can slash 2 times in 1.83 seconds. That means the max number of slashes you can do with one Dragon Blade is 9. You cannot get headshots with Dragon Blade, but if your Swift Strike is on cooldown and you use your Dragon Blade, your cooldowns for Swift Strike will be reset. Dragon Blade will do 120 damage per swipe. However, there's a 1.2 second time from when you press whatever key it is, Y, or if you're on keyboard, I'm not sure what it is, I think it's G, or Q, whatever it is, from when you press that key to when you can actually start swiping your sword. Dragon Blade does an AoE that affects up to 5 meters in front of Genji when slashing his Dragon Blade. And Genji's strength is that he has very high mobility because of his passive cyber agility and his swift strike. He's very agile and an excellent flanker. And finally, Genji's Dragon Blade can get team swipes with a very minimal setup. Genji has very high outplaying ability. For his weaknesses, Genji has a very high skill cap, which isn't really a weakness. It just means that you're gonna need some practice with Genji before you can get as good with him, say as you could be with McCree, really quick. But Genji is very squishy, which means that he has less room for error, and he is very ability reliant, which means he can't do much when his abilities are on cooldown. But his abilities can get reset, like Swift Strike and other things like that. Yeah, just one second, guys. I just wanted to say, in the background, this is some gameplay that I recorded before this. And yeah, and this game that I'm playing right now was actually a really tough game. I can't believe we did win it. But we used Zenyatta's ult right after mine, and the teleporter from Symmetra really helped. And I can't believe we actually won. This game and the game after this, I can't believe we won. Those two were like crazy. Actually, there was a game before this, but I don't know what happened to it. I couldn't find it in my folder, but whatever. So yeah, that's what's in the background right now. That's what you guys are seeing right now. So let's talk about the good, bad, and even matchup for Genji. Genji's good matchups are Widowmaker, Bastion, Hanzo, and Mercy. Mercy's a good matchup because you have such high burst damage that most of the time you'll find yourself killing enemies before Mercy can even get to them to heal them. Bastion is a good matchup because if he's already spinning his bullets and shooting at you, and you use deflect, more often than not he'll keep shooting at you until he dies, because that's sort of what most Bastions do. Widowmaker is a good matchup because your cyber agility is very easy to flank snipers with. Even if they see you, as I said earlier, you have such high mobility that it doesn't even matter. And as long as you don't run into her Venom Mine, you should be good, and you can parkour around that anyways. And for the last good matchup is your brother Hanzo, because at close range, where your damage is most powerful, the only thing he really has in his arsenal to take you out before you can take him out is a scatter arrow. And yes, if he hits you with all of the arrows that come out of his scatter arrow, you do die. But if you double jump, swift strike, swift strike, wall climbing, and using deflect, there's a lot better odds of you killing him than there is of him killing you. Onto the even matchups, there's D.Va, because you can reflect her bullets, but she can use her thrusters, which can make it difficult to win combos. Genji, because I'm saying Genji is on the even matchups. Genji, because it really is a matter of which Genji is better at landing the combos. That's just what it is. Reaper, because you and him both have high burst damage at close range. So as long as you stay a little distance away from him, you'll out DPS him. But if he catches you off guard or gets too close to you, all you can do is swift strike away. If you have that on cooldown, you're kind of screwed. And unless you use your deflect, which if he keeps on shooting you, it will kill him. most of the time. And then Reinhardt, because you both deal high damage at close range. You deal more damage than Reinhardt at close range, but yeah.
Heroes never die.
Yeah. So yeah. So Reinhardt can charge at you and one-shot you if he hits you with it. And his fire strike does hurt you quite a bit. But if you double jump, wall climb, and swift strike, unless you're on the ground within melee range of him, he can't hit you except with his fire strike. So yeah. So as long as you don't get in melee range with him, or it don't like make sure you don't get pinned by him, then you're good. Soldier, because he does have the advantage at in damage at medium to long range, but he does need to be somewhat accurate with his guns and helix rockets, and jumping, wall climbing, and swift striking makes that difficult. Torbjorn, because you can deflect his turret and his normal gun, but his turrets hurt you a lot if your deflect is up. And a good Genji player can take out a turret pretty easily. However, I'm not a great Genji player, but I am okay with him. And sadly, I didn't get the skin yet. I have 955 currency. I don't have 1,000 yet. I don't have enough to get the Genji skin, which sucks. I'm gonna try my hardest to get it today, because I really wanted to get it yesterday. But the loot boxes are trolling me, so whatever. Zenyatta. Oh crap, sorry. Zenyatta, because he can, you can take him out pretty easy at close range, but you are very squishy, and he does have high damage with his main weapon. I forgot what it's called, and his disc orbs really hurt you. So unless you're at middle to close range, you're gonna be pretty easy for Zenyatta to kill you. It's gonna be pretty easy for Zenyatta to kill you. You and Discord kill you. And Discord are annoying from Zenyatta because you're so squishy that it just makes it that much harder to play if you have a Discord orb on you. Anna, because the only thing she has on you at close range is her gun and her bomb. You can kill her pretty easy, but if she hits you with a sleep dart from any range, it's very annoying because you are so agile that if she hits you with a sleep dart, you're pretty much dead because you're so squishy also. And McCree, because you both deal high damage at close range, pretty much the same as Reaper, but you can use deflect just like Reaper to do some damage to himself. But if he stuns you and he lands most of his shots, you're pretty much dead. So yeah. So that's done for the even matchups. And before I do the bad matchups, I just want to say, guys, before I do the bad matchups, I just want to say, these are labeled as bad matchups, but just because they're labeled as bad matchups doesn't mean that they're impossible to kill. With some heroes, they are very, very difficult to kill. They're bad matchups, but with that's what's so good about Genji, is that he's really, really good at taking out his even his bad matchups. So yeah, I was shooting at that Reaper there because I can't believe that we won that round. So yeah, it doesn't mean they're impossible to kill. It just means you're gonna have to work a little harder to kill them. That's why a Master Genji can be so difficult to kill. So for the bad, not that I've ever played against a Master Genji, but so for the bad matchups, I have seen. Well, yeah, I have seen them, and yeah, so yeah, they're crazy. So for the bad matchups, there is Junkrat, because he will deal 120 damage per shot which is as much as your ult will deal per sword swipe, which is a lot. Sorry guys, the voice cut off there. I had to like start another voice thing because I can only do a maximum of 15 minutes at a time for the voice thing. So yeah, sorry. So yeah, Junkrat will do 120 damage per shot, which will two-shot you. And if he traps you in a trap, then either shoots you with one bullet or hits you with his concussion mine, you will die, because both of them will do 120 damage, and his concussion mine or one of his bullets, and his trap deals 80 damage when you get trapped in it, so that's 120 plus 80 equals 200. Genji only has 200 health, so yeah. So if you get trapped in Junkrat's trap, unless you've got your deflect, or unless you're really lucky, you're most likely going to die. Lucio, you might be thinking, why would Lucio be on the bad matchups list? But the reason Lucio's on the bad matchup is because his speed or his heal song, whatever one he is on, they're both annoying. The speed makes it hard to land shurikens, and the heal makes it so most of the time when you use your swift strike in a combo, and then after 8 seconds it takes to get off cooldown, most of the time your opponent will already be healed to full health because of Lucio's heal, which is really annoying. So yeah, he's not a counter in himself like his gun or anything, it's just his abilities. Mei, because she can freeze you, which is a big hindrance, because obviously it's pretty much the same thing as Ana, except you can kill Ana a lot easier, because she can freeze you, and pretty much if she freezes you and shoots you one bolt in the head, you're dead. And because she can shoot through your deflect. Roadhog, because if he hooks you and then shoots you a one shotgun blast, then you're dead. Symmetra, because since you're so squishy, her turrets really hurt you, and she can shoot through the reflect. Tracer, because it is very hard to land combos, because she's always either flashing or rewinding around. Winston, because he's a tank, and Genji isn't made for shredding tanks, like Reaper. Reaper is made for shredding tanks, and because you can't reflect his weapon. And Zarya, because she can shield when you're about to kill someone, or when you use your ult. And her primary fire can shoot through, her beam can shoot through deflect. And I know I said that a lot for the people in this list, in the bad matchup list, but it is true. Deflect is a big part of your kit. If it doesn't work, and if it doesn't even work, that means it's gonna be difficult to kill them. I will be back in 1 second. I gotta add some more gameplay to this thing because I'm not gonna be able to finish the rest of the guide real quick. I just gotta add some more gameplay to the video real quick. So 1 sec. Okay, I'm back, guys. It's funny, I had to record a whole game here, and I probably only need like a minute. Okay, so sorry I was rushing last part. I'll go back and read that real quick. Yeah, by the way, I'm reading this off my laptop. I wrote this because yeah, just because. So, and Zarya. So this is for the bad matchups. This is the last one, Zarya. And Zarya, because she can shield someone when you're about to kill someone, or when you ult, and her primary fire, her beam, cannot be deflected by your deflect. And I know I said that a lot on the bad matchups for the last part of the guide, for the last part. I know I said that on a lot of the matchups, a lot of the bad matchups, and that you can't deflect them. But deflect is a big part of your kit, and if it doesn't even work, that means that it's going to be difficult to kill them. But it still isn't impossible, because Genji is really a great character when mastered, great hero mastered. And for the last part of the guide, the combos. I'm just going to give you 2 basic combos. If you want me to do more in the future, I could do that. I'm just going to give you 2 basic combos right now. So the 2 basic combos. There's a close range and a medium and a long range one. The close range one is fan shuriken, melee, swift strike. And for the medium range one, medium range combo, long range, sorry. There is fan shuriken, swift strike, melee. For these combos, you only want to use fan shuriken if you're going to hit 2 or more shurikens, because if you hit 1 shuriken, that means burst fire mode would be doing more DPS, but if you hit 2 or 3 or 2 or more shurikens in fan fire mode, you will deal more DPS. So that's pretty much the end of the guide, guys. I'm probably gonna do a video once I get 1,000 currency, and I'm gonna buy the legendary Genji skin. I actually think I'm gonna buy the blue version of the Nomad. I don't remember what it's called. It's not like the Sparrow or the Young Genji or the Nomad. It's like the only other legendary skin for Genji. It's like I forgot the exact name of it, but yeah. It's like instead of like a blue thing on his head, he has or instead of a white thing on his head like the Nomad skin has, he has blue on his head. So yeah, guys, like, comment, subscribe, it helps out a lot, and yeah, so I will see you guys when I see you guys next time. Goodbye.